Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of As the Crow Flies Hiking. So I am at Franklin D. Roosevelt State Park. I'm in Georgia, near Pine Mountain, Georgia, and behind me is the park office there, up there, a beautiful stone building where I just checked in, and I am going to do the Pine Mountain Trail. It's a 23-mile trail. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I finally got a chance now to do it. It's Father's Day weekend, and I'm going to do the trail. Tonight, I hope to have a special guest that I'm going to be camping with. Tomorrow night, I'll be camping on my own. But right now, I'm going to show you the Pine Mountain Trail map and kind of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be heading from mile 23 down to mile 0. So let's take a look at the map, and we'll see what we're going to do, okay? So here we are. This is mile 23. This is where I'm going to start. But I'm going to be heading on the trail basically southbound, but it takes a loop here. We go by Dry Falls, mile 22, then Cascade Falls. Then I'm going to be going to the old Sawmill campsite and going past that, past Sassafras Hill campsite. Then I'm going to be going down past Rocky Point, all these things I'm so excited to see. And then I'm going to head down to Sparks Creek campsite. I think it's right here. That's where I'm going to camp tonight. Then I'm going to get up the next morning and on day 2, and I'm going to hike all this trail all the way down past mile 13, 12, 11 to get to Beach Bottom campsite. And so that's in between mile 9 and 10. That's where I'm going to camp tomorrow night. Then I'll get up on day 3 and I'll hike the 9.5 miles all the way down to the south where I'm at right now. Here's where I'm at right now, checking in at the park office. And then I'm going to head down the remaining miles all the way to the end where my car is going to be parked. I'm here at basically mile 1, which I think the trail comes out at. There's the country store. That's where I'll be finishing in 2 days. And there's a chance of rain today. I don't know what's going to happen with that. I'm kind of prepared for rain if I have to, because I saw there was a chance. Anyway, we're about to get started. I've got a shuttle that's going to pick me up here at the country store behind me. It's going to be Iron Braid Adventures, or Michelle. Iron Braid lives in this area, and she agreed to pick me up here at the country store. She's going to take me up to mile 23, and I will get started. I'm going to camp somewhere in about 6 miles tonight. Let's get started hiking. Look who I got with me. It's Iron Braid Adventures. It's Michelle. And Michelle was so kind to agree to carry me to the trail. So here we are at the Pine Mountain Trail. She has shuttled me from 0 to mile 23. Thank you so much, Michelle.
You are very welcome.
I appreciate it. And I'm about to get started. I'm so excited. I'm going to hike about, I think, 7 miles, 6 miles, something like that. And I'm going to be meeting some people tonight, and I'll surprise you with some other guests. But I'm about to head about 7 miles in the trail, hopefully not get lost. And so I'm ready to get started. Let's go. Leaving the parking lot now at mile 23. Hiker Smurf is with me, and that's all that's with me. So I've got about 6 miles today. It is approximately 2 p.m. Eastern time. I wanted to mention that this is kind of my birthday hike. It's actually, right now it's Father's Day weekend. And here is, it says Pine Mountain Trail. There's the tower, that's where I just came from. And I'm heading to Cascade Falls, Sawmill Campsite, and Wolfton Loop. And I was already told by Michelle that I do not go to the left. That white trail is not the Pine Mountain Trail. I gotta stay on the blue. Already know I'm not gonna get lost immediately. Maybe later, but not now. So I'm supporting my new Olympus 3.5s. They are the blue and orange. I found a deal on them on a website, and so I went ahead and got them. And now that the 4.0s are out, so these are kind of cheaper, but man, they are great, have a new tread and everything. I can already tell this is a spectacular trail. The pathway is wide, it's so well maintained. I can show you down below me. Look at that. I mean, a wide trail, and all the cuttings here, the maintainers of this Pine Mountain Trail look like they do a great job here. It's a great pathway. I think I'm gonna be heading up to some falls here pretty soon in the next mile or so, and that ought to be a lot of fun. And I just came up on mile 22 marker. So I got to get Hiker Smurf out, and he's got to mark that we have made it to mile 22. Here we go. It's my birthday. And it's not just any birthday. I'm now 50 years old. And that's a little scary to me. I know that people say, well, it's just a number. But I've always felt like that I'm a lot younger in my mind than I am in my body. That is so clear to me now than ever as I continue to hike. I've hiked more miles this year than I've hiked probably any year. Wow, what a beautiful little place. Let me turn you around. Look at these planks all around here. They're all down through here. And then there's a small waterfall over here. Again, it's like 90 degrees here. So, and I said I was turning 50. So birthday hike at 50 at 90 degrees is a little crazy. This ought to be a blast, especially since I'm by myself, alone with my thoughts. You're probably gonna get a lot of just thinking on this hike. So 50 years old, what does that mean? Well, it means I've probably got more years behind me than I do ahead of me. It also gives me a little bit of sense of wisdom. I think I have a little bit of that, not a whole lot though. It gives me a lot of perspective on things as I go through each year. Are you a glass half empty person or a glass half full person? That's the question for this video, to see if you're still watching. I am a glass half empty person. I know it may not seem that way sometimes on my videos because I guess in any of this stuff you kind of put on a facade, but I'm usually a pessimist. But when I'm out on the trail, I don't know, that stuff seems to go away. And just like now, I'm kind of thinking through all my thoughts, looking around. And again, it all goes back to this idea that I'm hiking this trail near my 50th birthday. One of those perspectives comes back when I was a kid. In high school, I was in theater. You probably could guess that by the way I overreact to stuff, but living in Northwest Alabama in the 80s, being in theater was not a cool thing to do. A lot of people made fun of me, things like that. You know, it's just kids being kids. I don't know, just part of my makeup now that I look back on it 50 was all those experiences being in theater in high school, going to competitions and things like that. It's a lot of fun, and that kind of made me who I am. And I think anybody, the experiences that you have over your lifetime, the culmination of those experiences kind of makes us who we are. Boy Scouts, another thing that made me come back to this, was simply being in Boy Scouts and loving the outdoors added to the experiences of my life. But, you know, I don't look fondly upon those high school days when people made fun of me for being in theater. It made me stronger. I ended up going to New York, Manhattan, and living up there for a couple of years after high school and trying to make it. I had this dream. I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live. Yeah, I'm probably not good enough for that, but that's what I wanted to do. But all those experiences add up to who we are. Okay, another experience that adds to this whole pondering my 50th birthday, leaving New York. After 2 years of going to school in New York, I had an option of coming home or staying. My parents said, "You're on your own if you want to stay." I was 19 and wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And I decided to come home. I decided to go to college. You always think, what would your life be like if you would have made the opposite choice when you had that crossroads in your life? What would it be like? How would you be different? And looking back now, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade my kids, my wife, my family. You know, I think all things come together for good. Or at least I've always believed that. Those bad experiences you have in life make you who you are. Coming home from New York, I thought was maybe a failure at the time, but it really opened the door for other things. Behind me, beautiful waterfall. See if you can see it. Yeah. Pretty cool. A lot of boardwalks on this trail as I'm going through it. Just boardwalk after boardwalk. I'm coming up on another falls. So it looks like I made it to the Bumblebee Ridge campsite. I don't see any bumblebees, but I'm sure they're around here somewhere. There's somebody's dirty sock over there. Oh well. So I'm headed to Cascades Falls, coming up on mile 21, I think. Okay, you know this is my favorite thing, right? Keisha loves taco and Matt. Well, Keisha, I wonder if it's in that order. You love tacos more than Matt, or Matt more than tacos? Not sure. But, I mean, tacos are great. So, I hear you, Keisha. Best of luck, Matt and Keisha and tacos. Okay, another perspective accumulation as I'm thinking back, reflecting on turning 50. That's getting married. Probably the best day of my life. Right up there with having kids. It was an incredible experience. I remember everything about it. Though it's been 24 years. I sang a song that I wrote at my wedding. I don't even know how to play it anymore. Had a great time. My friends were with me, my best man, buddy from college, and my dad, and happily married for 24 years. That experience is reflective of being 50 and what made me who I am today. Man, it's hot. Anyway, getting close to mile 20. This has been so fun. So I made it to the old sawmill campsite, Rocky Point parking lot 2.6. It's a great campsite. Boy, it's a large campsite. It's very nice. A lot of flat areas and right next to the water. On the other side of the camera is all water, so great place. It is hot. I guess it's in the upper 80s. And I'm dripping with sweat. My apologies. But it is what it is. So I just came from down there. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, it's a pretty big climb out of the gorge that I was in. The first videos you probably saw, a lot of them were just water after waterfall, creeks. It looks like I've come out of that because I don't hear the water anymore. And I've come up this mountain. I guess I'm getting closer to the road. Another reflection of turning 50. Yeah, I'm doing this as I'm going uphill. That's real smart. Was having kids. I had kids starting at age 29. Had 3 kids. They're wonderful children. I know they would say, Dad, you don't say that all the time. Well, that's part of being dad. It's pretty tough to say all the time, but yeah, I love them dearly. Part of my reflection now is turning 50 on this hike is them and watching them grow. Maybe someday they can look back at this video if it still exists and hear me talking about them. But they've all grown and they've all experienced ups and downs, whether it's dance for my daughter and the ups and downs she's experienced going to a different dance studio and being able to flourish because people care about her there. My oldest son, who played soccer, he has played since he was probably 4 years old, now plays in college, and just how people didn't believe in him. I believed in him. He just wouldn't quit. Even though they told him he wasn't good enough. He kept playing, and now he's playing college soccer, and really proud of him for that. That's big fist. Then my youngest, he plays soccer as well, and I enjoy watching him play. Just watching them growing up and being the people that they are to be, and hope that they will continue to strive to be good citizens and good caretakers of their society. Be caring people and not arrogant people. I despise arrogant people. I love humble people. I seem to gravitate toward humble people. Another reflection at age 50. Well, I almost lost Hiker Smurf. As I was hiking, I've kept Hiker Smurf in my pocket, past that mile 20 marker, and I put him down, if you remember from the video, I put him down on the rock, got up and walked away. I didn't get too far from Hiker Smurf. I ran back and luckily Hiker Smurf was still there. So at least you'll still get to see Hiker Smurf for the rest of these mile markers. We got a couple of miles left to Sparks Creek or Sparks Hill, whatever it is. I don't know. Good thing this trail is well marked. If you followed my videos, you know I have a tendency to get lost. I don't think so on this trail. It's pretty well marked. Trail is well traveled, well maintained, and you get these markings all the time, so you know exactly where you are. I haven't even had to look at the map because there's so many signs that tell me exactly where I am. I haven't seen but a few people today, and they were super nice, carrying their dogs. Not on leashes though. One dog acted like he was not happy with me, and then when he got up to me, he was fine. Oh well. I was thinking about another thing that was an experience in the past 50 years that was pretty instrumental to me was getting my first vehicle. I remember my dad knew a guy when I got 16 who had an old Camaro, and he got a real good deal on it and let me drive a Camaro for several years until the insurance was pretty rough, so I had to get something else, another used car. But I drove that Camaro till the wheels fell off. I was in a little town, felt like it was a Andy Griffith's type town. We had a bank on one side and a grocery store on the other. I think it was the Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, that's a grocery store in Alabama. And I used to ride that car back and forth between those stoplights. No telling how much gas I burned up. Had a stereo system in the car. It was so loud, I probably got hearing loss now because of it. Had an equalizer that went up and down, little different blue lights and green lights and things. I thought I was so cool. I wasn't cool at all, but I thought I was. Man, I love that car. I may still have a picture of it. If I do, I'll put it up here. But there was some kind of freedom about having a vehicle for the first time. I could go travel. My little town did not have a theater, a movie theater. So if you had to go out on a date, you had to ask a girl and go about 30 miles to the nearest town that had a movie theater. And I remember taking little notepads. I don't even think we had sticky notes back then. Little pads. And I'd write topics of conversation because that was awkward and I didn't know what to say. And so you'd have to think of things to say to the girl as you were driving for 30 miles. Because, I mean, that's a long time. There was a lot of awkward silence in that ride. I was just thinking about that. That's a reflection of turning 50, looking back. Sparks Creek campsite. So here I am, and there's Hiker Smurf. We made it. Let's go to the camp and set up camp. All right, everybody, I told you there would be some special guests tonight, and there is. Let me introduce you to Mike P.
Hello.
Mike, very nice to meet you.
Me too.
I've been watching all the videos with Senior Hiker, and Mike P is in all of them, and I've heard so much about him. He's such a nice guy, and sure enough, I got to meet him tonight. So I'm at campsite Sparks Creek. Sparks Creek.
The new Sparks Creek.
And there's Senior Hiker 77.
My brother-in-law, Mike P. Hiker. But this is a new campsite.
Yeah, so you're saying that they just moved it, right?
We was here last week, and I wasn't going to reserve it, but when you told me you were coming and this was going to be your first night, we reserved it again. But they had moved it while we were there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice water.
So he was showing me they moved. Let me show you what they moved. They moved the fire pit. They moved this huge bench over here, and it looks like they created that bridge, or was that here somewhere else?
No, they built that.
They built it.
Oh, they built that bridge. Okay. So I was really happy that Senior Hiker and Mike P asked me to camp with them tonight because I didn't know where I was going to camp. I reserved another campsite, 8 miles from here.
Yeah, Beach Bottom.
Beach Bottoms. So I'm going to camp there tomorrow night. So I got my tent set up and we're going to get settled. And anyway, it's good to see y'all again.
They already cooked, you know when you boil ramen noodles,
Yeah.
they already
They're
cooked.
already cooked,
You just boil them up so they get softer.
Sometimes middle of the night, I feel like really hungry. I don't want to cook anything. I just open up the bag and then.
Oh, yeah. I see a lot of people do that. They're good. I've
You
turned
get the water?
Yeah, I'm going to get some more water.
I'll show you the spot.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't need to scoop it.
the same old spot.
Say more.
Yeah, we're still using the same spot on the other side.
Yeah, I like that.
I think Tom said he went down the stream a little ways and did the same thing. I think he said he did that. Didn't he say he went down the stream?
I'm not sure about the time, but I know Kevin, he said he did it.
So my meal tonight comes courtesy of Tom Walker of Following Walker's World. He sent me this great little bag. I was complimenting his bag that he has to hold a Mountain House meal in. And then after our trip, in the mail, I got this lasagna with meat sauce in this bag that he made for me. Look at this. It's got these strips on here to hold it tight, and then it opens up and it just perfectly fits a lasagna with meat sauce bag. So thanks, Following Walker's World. I'm eating tonight courtesy of you. Appreciate it, buddy.
Also, he keeps his long spoon in there so he don't forget where it's at.
Oh, that's right. I need to start doing that. That's a good idea.
We all can't find the long spoon. Yeah,
I tell you what, y'all were cracking me up with that video with the canned bread. That was hilarious. The B&M. And somebody said it sounds like it kind of sounds like a BM coming out.
A bowel movement. Somebody said it, but
Yeah.
actually Kevin was laughing and it kind of muffled it. But
Yeah,
I think Tom was one to say it'd be a bowel movement.
that was so funny. Let me tell you, that Fiery Gizzard Trail, that's a tough trail.
Which one?
It's called the Fiery Gizzard.
No.
It's near, it's in Tracy City, Tennessee. It's like 45 minutes northwest of Chattanooga. It's 13 miles, but it's straight up and straight down.
Oh, that's like Black Rock Mountain. You climbing a ladder, and you climbing a ladder down. We was within a quarter of a mile of the campsite where we was going to spend the night, and all three of us was taking 6-inch baby steps, 10 of them, and then resting on our tracking post. Oh my God, it was so bad. And it said most difficult. I didn't see it. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. Oh.
Sometimes he let me do solo hiking too.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
There you go.
Hey, I just asked Mike, what's his Maxim Original? And that's the Korean letters. That's what it says, Original. But he had to tell me that's original.
That's original. You were sounding it sounded just like English when you said it. It's like, oh, it sounds like original.
But they have all their letters make the same sound. That's why it sounds a little off when I read it, because it's original.
Okay.
original, but they know it is original. But see, I couldn't pick up on it. And I was over there 6 years, went to the school and everything.
So Senior Hiker gave me one of these. It's called Maxim, and it's got coffee in it. And if you hold the bottom, that you can stop the sugar, and hold a little higher, you can stop the cream. It's just the coffee, right? And so he's going to show how to do it. But he gave me one of these to try. And then Mike P gave me Vina Cafe, and it's a 3-in-1 as well. Instant coffee, and it's got cream and sugar in it. So I'm excited to try these.
But anyway, let's see now, that got a lot of cream. But if you don't want the sugar, you see sugar started coming. But see, the first inch is sugar, second inch is cream, and the coffee. It ain't 100%, but
That's great.
That's how it works. If you don't want, some people don't want sugar.
Yeah.
Some people don't want cream.
The cream, yeah. Well, thank you, Senior Hiker, for this, and thank you, Mike P, for these. I can't wait to try these. I'll try these out tomorrow morning. Drink my coffee. So Senior Hiker has the new Lanshan Pro. He's done a video on it, but this is single wall version of the Lanshan that he's had for many years. The one you have is yellow, isn't it? No.
Yeah, well, I got a white one and a yellow one, but listen, this is really a hybrid because it's got mesh, you sealed in. You know, it's got mesh on the two sides, so it's not really a completely single wall. It's a hybrid of sorts. But here, if you want to see inside.
There's what the inside looks like, and this tent runs now, what, about $150, you said?
I paid $144, but I think I saw it now for $179. Okay. It was on their anniversary, AliExpress anniversary was $142.
Okay.
But it's going up to $179 regular price.
This is such a good deal for a tent that's a single wall, and it's sub 2 pounds, right?
Sub 2 pounds. It actually is sub 2 pounds.
All right, so this is Mike P's tent. This is the Tarp tent double rainbow, right, Mike?
Yes.
And Mike was showing me a couple of different things that it does that I didn't know it did. This has a porch mode, right, Mike?
Yeah.
That you can take apart there and Velcro, and then you can take trekking poles down here and pull these up and make like a porch mode on that Tarp tent double rainbow. And that creates a nice little porch area, vestibule, I guess, if you wanted it.
Fire! Fire! Fire!
Oh, your shirt says Senior Hiker 77 on it.
He couldn't remember, Michelle, did he have that shirt on the trip?
I don't.
Or was that
I've
after?
seen it, so
Cumberland.
I fight with you.
See the horse's head there?
Yeah.
Cumberland Island?
Cumberland, he took it. He took
Yeah,
the
I
shit.
thought-
I thought he did. I thought I'd seen it before.
I don't remember.
Yeah, those waterfalls at that first 2 or 3 miles there, and then when we were down there, I thought, is this going to be like this the whole time? Because it's just beautiful. It's like, I couldn't stop videoing because there was just something on every bridge. And then finally I started going up and realized, okay, now the trail's changing.
After Cascade,
Yeah,
you're going up.
when I go up.
What is that?
Yep, in every video, every time I go hiking, there's a whippoorwill. Can you hear it? It followed me out to FDR Park. Whippoorwill, whippoorwill, whippoorwill. Oh, it's going to probably be here all night. It's the end of day one. I have successfully made it to Senior Hiker's campsite here. We have just had an awesome time hanging out and telling stories here. They've got this cool light set up on the tree here, so that's why I can get some light to talk to y'all. But anyway, I'm heading to bed in a little bit. Tomorrow will be about 9 or 10 miles. And then I'm going to camp at a place called Beach Bottoms. So if you're watching, come on down, hang out with me at the campsite. This video won't be out for another 3 or 4 months, but that's my plan for tomorrow. Hike 7, 8 miles to that next campsite and camp. And then the next day will be Sunday, and I will get up, hike out, hopefully, if I can make it that far. All right, I'll talk to y'all in the morning.